Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Welcome to the worst writer in the world with me, Rufus, and he's small, he's got a big bushy tail, and he keeps forgetting where his nuts are and causing trees to grow. It's...
Howard Long, where's me nuts?
Thank you to the British Comedy Guide for hosting this show. Thanks to all of our lovely patrons on Patreon for supporting this show. And thanks to you for listening to this show. But there's no more time to waste, Howard. Let's just get on with it, shall we, please?
Yes, please.
Sorry, I kind of stole your catchphrase then, didn't I?
Have
Ruined it.
Take
Just
it.
ruined
I don't want it
everything.
anymore. It's yours now.
All right, okay, yes, please. Doesn't make sense if I say. Who am I saying
Would
yes,
you?
please to?
I'll say like, would you like to do the show now, Rufus?
No.
No. Come on, let's
Oh,
yes
shit,
and
ruined
yes
it.
and
Okay. Yes, and please.
yes and please. Yeah, that's
Yes,
good.
and please.
Yeah.
Yes, and
that's
please.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. Yes and please. That's my new catchphrase that you just wrote for me.
Okay, brilliant. All right, let's get started, shall we?
Yes and please.
So, Howard, I have got your RE book out again.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't say what year you were in. Well, it's middle school somewhere, so you're somewhere between 11 and 13.
Brilliant.
But I can't narrow it down any further. And see what else is in this book. This is the same book that has your essays on equal rights. There are two different equal rights, as we know. But here, this, firstly, what you have, in fact, is the 10 Commandments. You have listed the 10 Commandments. So that's what you're learning. You're learning about the 10 Commandments. Number 1, I am the Lord your God. I feel like that's missing something. Right?
That's a good
Isn't
commandment.
it more about...
It's a good
Yeah,
commandment.
isn't it more about... Because the second one is you shall have no other gods before me. And the third one is you shall not blaspheme. That's taking the Lord's name in vain. So what is the first commandment? Because this has all been kind of modernized in speech. It's not the...
I don't know, because I remember reading a few years ago that what people believe are the 10 Commandments aren't the 10 Commandments, and the 10 Commandments are completely different. So the things he put on, he chiselled on those gravestones and took up the hill to see Muhammad were like these things. And then everyone's like, oh, yeah, you shouldn't have sex with your neighbour's ox, but that's just 10 other things you shouldn't do.
Those are the less important ones.
Yeah.
So some of these do absolutely say, I am the Lord your God, as the first one. All right, so number 1 is, I am the Lord your God. Don't be denying that. That is my commandment. I am the Lord your God. Number 2, you shall have no other gods before me. Number 3,
Same
you shall
commandment,
not... Well, the
Have
first
any other
3 are,
gods? Number 4, other gods? No way.
Never. Don't do that. Well, because the third one's you shall not blaspheme, which is don't take the Lord's name in vain. So the first 3 are all like, God is brilliant. Only God is any good. Don't be mean to God. It's all like, God, just be nice to God. The top 3. And then...
It kind of feels to me that like whoever wrote this was probably doing it in class, and it was going to go in the NatWest window, and they were like, you've got to come up with 10 things. You've got to come up with 10 really important things. They're like, don't have any
don't
other
be mean
gods.
about God in a butcher's shop.
Yeah.
And number 2, also don't be mean about God in a poultry house.
God is best. God's really good. That's another one. Does that count?
God has the best car.
A lovely God. A caring God.
Meat. It does feel like that, yeah. In fact, number 4 is keep the Sabbath holy, which is also like, make sure you're nice about God on Sundays, right?
Right.
Or whatever day. That's the first 4 are all just like, God's amazing. Make sure you keep saying that God's amazing, right?
Yeah.
That's the first 4, and there's only 10. So there's only 6 commandments except for don't be mean about God, will you?
Because 2 commandments got in a car. That's what's going on here.
Yeah, so that's the butcher shop and the poultry house done in the first 4, right? The laziest ones.
If the 8th commandment is get in a car, I'll be really happy.
Number 10, have boar's head for Christmas dinner. No, number 5 is honour your parents.
Okay.
So now we have an actual commandment, something you actually have to do.
Yeah, but that one seems like it's directed towards Jesus, and so like it's still exactly the same commandment.
Planning ahead. Well, God is the Father, not just of Jesus, but of all of us, right?
That's true.
So that is a sneaky 5th be good to God one, right? Because also, like, you know, our parents obviously are great, but a lot of parents, right? I've heard this, I've read about this.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of parents suck.
Oh, really?
Right, they're really bad. And then God's like, oh, you're still got to be nice to them, even though they're awful.
Oh, no. What kind of things do these bad parents do? Do they, like, go to your YouTube videos and write this is shit on them? What kind of things do these bad parents do?
Yeah, just little abusive comments here and there, you know.
Like when they're
randomly.
on Facebook, if they see you've sworn, they come and tell you off for swearing, so swearing's bad, and then write this is shit on your YouTube videos. Is that what?
It's that sort of thing. And I'd say sometimes even a little bit worse than that.
Oh,
but,
really?
But yeah, that sort of thing. But what God says is no matter how much your mum, right, tells you your life is pointless and your work is shit, right?
Yeah.
When you then say, oh fuck, and she gets really upset about it, you still have to send her flowers.
Yes.
That's what God says.
He does say that. I've been obeying, haven't I?
Well done for keeping the 5th commandment.
Thank you.
All right, let's see how you do with number 6.
Uh-oh.
You shall not kill.
Oh, okay.
And that's thinking about it, that is very
Left field.
general.
Oh, okay.
No, not at all.
It's like,
No,
wow, I
no,
wasn't
very
expecting that. I was expecting
Wow.
something about how great Jesus is, or
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
Probably, you shall not kill brackets Jesus close brackets. Oh, for fuck's sake! I didn't give you many. It was all be nice about God. Don't kill my son. And what did you do? You killed my son. Fucking hell, humans. No, I'm just saying it's very general. I mean, that don't kill anything. That surely includes plants, insects, food.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess it all really depends on whether God actually told these rules or whether some people just made them up. I mean, I know that's really unlikely. If some
That's
people
a
made
very
it up
controversial comment you're saying there.
and they didn't think other things were alive, they probably wouldn't have needed to kind of like expand on that, because it could have only have meant one thing, because only a human being has a soul.
Yeah, well, maybe it should say something like murder, because we don't use murder for when you like don't water your plant and it dies.
Yeah, that's right.
very few people call you a murderer and put you
Yeah.
in prison. Then it's very rare.
That's true.
Maybe
'cause
in
it's-
some states in the US, but not anywhere civilized.
Yeah, I mean, if they'd known anything about, I don't know, science in the past, I'm not saying
Like
I
you
do. I'm
do
not
now.
saying I'm
Like
saying I'm
you
an
do
expert
now.
or anything, but they
No,
probably would have
let's
known.
say it. You are an expert. You
Okay.
are an expert. Come on, own your own
Okay,
expertise.
I'm an expert. If they'd have known anything about science like I do, they'd known that it's impossible not to kill, because we're always killing something.
Okay, I mean, I feel like this is a big confession that you're making. Like right now, murdering a pig. Right? It's how I keep focused while we're recording. You know. No, you didn't mean that, did you? What did you mean? Explain how we're always murdering something.
Well, I don't know, like dust mites. We kill oxygen, don't we? We turn it into something else. We
do murder. We are oxygen murderers.
We're like
famously,
made up
yeah.
of cells. We kill those. Like when a bit of skin falls off, that's me killing a skin cell. It's like everything is murder. Like when I go for a walk in the garden and I tread on a pig, I'm killing that pig. I mean, or an ant maybe. You know, when I'm doing nothing for several hours, I'm killing time. It's like there's just no getting away from all the murder I do.
That, like if you do your work really well and someone's like, "Hey, you killed it," you're like, "Oh, I'm going to hell."
Yeah.
Number 7. You shall not commit adultery. I tell you what, we're safe with this one.
Yeah, I'm never going to become an adult, so that's what that means, right? Commit adultery.
You shall
by-
not commit adultness. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's say in both meanings, whether it's being an adult or cheating on your partner, I reckon we're both pretty safe on this one.
Okay, right. Yeah. I actually didn't. It's been such a long time since I heard the word. I had no idea what adultery meant. I didn't think it
Really?
meant. I didn't think it meant become an adult. Obviously, yeah, that was
No,
a joke.
cool,
But
no.
I was like,
no,
adultery. I just thought adultery meant having intercourse. Is it? But it means.
okay.
But that would be weird if God was going around saying, "Nobody have any sex." That's bad. And you're going to go to hell if you have sex.
Okay, next one. Number 8, you shall not steal.
Right, okay.
Who doesn't steal when they're a kid? I mean, you nick some sweets or something, nick a car.
Money, cake.
Yeah, like rob a bank. Yeah, who when they were a kid didn't borrow a gun and go to the NatWest Bank, walk straight past Howard's Jack's turkeys in the story in the window, and then go and have all the money out of that bank. Who hasn't done that?
Certainly had a go. Certainly tried mugging a granny, but that didn't turn out well for me. It was a police person in disguise. If you want to know what I'm talking about, you'll need to listen to Time Pig, which you can get by going to manbycow.com/Time Pig.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, for free. That's available right now. Also, what if you steal someone's heart?
Ah,
I stole his heart.
Like a pig's heart.
Yeah. What if you steal a pig's heart, right? Yeah. After murdering it?
Yeah.
Does that mean I'm going to hell? What if I steal a pig's heart after murdering it and sleeping with its wife?
Yeah.
What then? Am I going to hell just for that? Just for fucking a pig and murdering one and then having its heart in my pocket for a week?
What I was trying to do is I didn't want to kill the pig because I knew that I would go to hell if I killed the pig, so I just stole its heart. But it turns out
side effect.
Pig can't live without that heart.
I didn't know, God. Thou shalt not misunderstand pig anatomy.
I mean, surely adultery is okay sometimes.
Okay, explain.
Well, if you want to have sex with a hot married person, then.
And they're into it too, and their husband or wife doesn't know. Yeah, then it's okay. Who's it hurting?
Okay, well, what happens if you're both consenting, and also the other person is an absolute piece of shit, and you want to hurt them?
What if you're both consenting, and so is the third person?
Yes,
either because they're just kind of down with it, or they want to watch or get involved or whatever. I mean, if you have a threesome with a married couple, that's adultery. That's double adultery, right?
Yeah.
Because you're sleeping with 2 married people, and that's not on. Straight to hell. Yeah. I mean, and come on, who could possibly say what religious person could possibly argue that threesomes are sinful? I mean, surely no one could maintain that argument. Come on.
I suppose the danger of threesomes always is that you start
too many people.
I was going to say that then you fall in love with the other person, then you end up kind of stealing their heart. And then it's adultery, stealing, and then in fact, you've killed 2 birds with one
murder.
stone, then haven't you? So
yeah, murder because you took that heart out. With you got your stone and you got your heart out, and then it's terrible. Yeah, I mean, who hasn't been in the middle of a threesome and then accidentally cut someone's heart out with a stone?
Wait a second.
Come on.
What if when I'm committing adultery all the time, whilst I'm doing it, I'm going, God is great, and then because then I'm really obeying those first 5 rules, aren't I?
God's up there going, I'm just not 100% convinced he means me. I think he's breaking the second one. I think he's talking about Inuku again.
Is he saying God it's great or God is great? I can't tell.
All right, so the next one is you shall not lie.
Ah. I mean, they're getting so fucking everybody. I mean, sure, everyone doesn't murder somebody. Maybe that is the least likely thing.
But it doesn't say somebody; it says kill. It just says kill. Yeah, and as you pointed out, we're always killing a pig.
Yeah, but if he does,
everyone is always murdering a pig.
Yeah, everyone's always murdering a pig. But if God means don't buy a fucking Glock and shoot someone, right? If that's rule number 6 after the 5 important rules about loving God, saying God's great, giving God a kiss, patting him on his bum and sending him on his way, whatever it was. And then then he gets into the dumb, the dangerous
Be nice
stuff.
to your parents.
It's
don't shoot people with a gun.
Don't shoot people. Yeah, don't shoot people. Don't steal. Was it then? Don't
adultery
around.
was number 7.
Right.
Don't have threesomes. So it's be nice to your parents.
Now it's
don't
lie.
murder people with a gun. Don't have threesomes. Don't steal. And then don't lie.
And that's number 9. So I'm really worried that number 10, because I don't know what it is, because no spoilers. I'm worried it's going to be something even more nothing than lying.
It's completely.
Don't eat chewing gum, because they always said that. They always said that when we were younger. I didn't know whether it was one of the commandments or not. Don't eat chewing gum.
Yeah, it did seem more serious than the first 4 commandments, didn't it? They put a lot more in school. They put a lot more emphasis on not chewing gum than they did on I am the Lord your God. Commandment number 1, or you shall not blaspheme and keep the Sabbath holy. 3 and 4 there. All right, so no, number 10 is impossible. No one can do number 10. No one has ever done number 10. Number 10, we'll come to it in a minute, but number 10 is completely impossible. No one has ever succeeded.
I thought we were going there because it's possible to, I suppose, to not lie if you try really hard.
Well, in fact, here's an irony for you. Because the only people who, like, anyone in history, I would say, who says they have achieved number 10 was breaking number 9 because they were definitely lying. Right? And I think this is proof that no one has fulfilled all 10 commandments, and therefore everyone's in hell.
Is it don't breathe?
No, it's do not covet your neighbour's ox. Right? It's like, don't want things that aren't yours. Who's lived their life and never wanted anything that isn't theirs? Because it's not don't steal it. It's not don't murder it. It's don't want it. Don't desire things that aren't yours. Who has ever done that?
What are you saying?
Liar.
Are you saying that, like, just for the last one, then God got all metaphorical, and God doesn't mean specifically don't covet your neighbour's ox?
Yeah. Actually, that's a good point. So maybe the others are metaphor as well, right? If that one was literal, No, if that one was not a metaphor, then it's fine, because all you have to do is not want that ox.
Yeah.
You can want the cow and the sheep, that's fine, but not the ox.
But it's super easy because they totally don't have one anywhere, either side. Not happening.
Yeah. No, my neighbours don't have oxen either. I mean, I live in a flat; it'd be really difficult for them.
Well, maybe it does mean that then, because then, like, what they probably used to do was the reverse order. So they made it really achievable, the first commandment, i.e. number 10. That's in at number 10, like the top of the pops. In at number 10, don't covet your neighbour's ox. It's like, okay, yeah, I can do that. It's really good.
He hasn't got any. He hasn't got any. He's quite poor like me.
Now, don't lie. Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, it's getting worse.
Try really hard. I can probably do that.
And coming in at number 8, do not steal. This is going to make life a lot more difficult. My family's going to starve. Oh, well. Number 7, no threesomes.
Oh, no!
What's the point in life? Number 6, do not kill. Put that pig's heart back in right now. Come on, sew it up.
Shit.
And numbers 5 through 1, be good to your God. That's me. So those are the 10 commandments.
Okay.
But that's just a list. What we're actually here to read is your homework. That was your classwork, and you did homework as well. Homework is called My Views. That's the title, My Views. But then underneath it says number 6, you shall not kill.
Oh.
So it is your young child person views on the 6th commandment, you shall not kill. The one that is, like, maybe actually, as we've said, easiest to fulfill as long as it means people.
Yeah. Do you think that Mrs. Crockwood said...
Is that the name of the religious studies
It's
teacher?
just because Mrs. Crockford, actually, not Crockwood. Whatever, it's equally...
Who knows?
Brilliant.
Mrs. Religion.
Mrs. Crockford, do you think she said pick your favourite commandment and then go and write about it?
And give your views on it. Yeah, I bet she did. And I bet no one chose 1 through 4.
No.
I'm going to write an essay on you shall not blaspheme. And I'm going to write one on I am the Lord your God. Well, I disagree. I think John is my God. All right, no. So my views, you shall not
Brilliant.
kill.
I hope Doctor Who turns up in this. Is he going to? Sometimes he does. He just turns up when we're not expecting him.
Yeah, it's true. I agree with this because Doctor Who never kills people. No, your first line is, I agree with this. In fact, it's weird because I was trying to... what it says is, I agree to this at some extent. Right, and agree to this is like it's like you've been murdering people, and now they're negotiating an agreement. Yeah. Like, come on, Howard, we'll give you this many presents. Here's the present you can have, but you've got to promise. Okay. You've got to promise you'd like to kill people. You're like, all right, I can agree to this, but I'm allowed to still murder pigs, right? I can still do the pigs, right? Is that all right? I agree to this at some extent, and I think you mean I agree with this to some extent, not. I will continue murdering a certain number of people. Yeah. I believe that killing someone by accident is not wrong. Because if it is done by accident, you cannot be held to blame.
Yeah, that's true.
But if it is murder, it is wrong most of the time.
Yeah.
So many caveats here. So many situations where murder is okay, according to 12-year-old Howard.
Oh, it was an accident. I just got really drunk and took the car out for a spin.
I was just practicing my stabbing motion. It's not my fault that those 12 people got in the way of my stabbing practice.
I just wanted to destroy the House of Lords because I don't know what it stands for. I didn't realise there would be all those people in there.
I just wanted to blow up Parliament with the government and King James in it. Is it really fair to torture me almost to death, then hang, draw and quarter me? Come on. It was an accident.
Yeah.
I accidentally
And
put all those barrels of gunpowder underneath.
And I failed miserably. I didn't kill anyone.
Good point. Number 6 is not, you shall not take a load of barrels of gunpowder up the Thames in a boat and put them under the House of Parliament and then fail to set them off. That's not what it says. It says, you shall not kill, and I did not do any of that.
I tell you what, I'd love bonfire night if that's what happened. Things didn't get set off. I mean, I'd really enjoy it so much more. And all the surrounding weeks where lots of people just don't set off fireworks. It'd be brilliant.
Well, that would be a true celebration of Guy Fawkes being a massive failure. If a load of people spent loads of money and time transporting loads of gunpowder in their stupid fucking fireworks from one place to another, preferably in a boat, right, and then failed to set them off, right? You can still have bonfires because that's meant to be the burning of his body, right? Is that true?
Yeah.
That symbol. So that did happen. There was a fire, but no gunpowder.
No.
So you're not allowed to have fireworks anymore. Celebrate Guy Fawkes Night by planning something in great detail and then failing to do it. In fact, celebrate Guy Fawkes by being a failure. Don't worry about it, everyone. You're already way ahead.
Yeah, if you're listening to this show,
Just carry on.
Yeah.
If you're the kind of person who gets fireworks for November the 5th and then sets them off in your garden, then you're already celebrating. Maybe that's what they're doing. They're like standing in their garden with their stupid families, right, who hate them, setting off the box of fireworks that they just bought down this shop, feeling like drinking beer and feeling cool. And what they're doing, it's not about the gunpowder, it's about being a failure. And they truly are honouring the spirit of Guy Fawkes, one of the most monumental failures in British history.
When I go into my garden, right, I don't want to set off fireworks. All I want to do is look at that sexy ox that lives next door. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, maybe throw a sheet over it.
Yeah.
Go straight to hell. Straight to hell you are.
Yeah, do not pass go, do not collect $200. Oh, no.
All right, so we've said that murder is fine if you do it by accident. So just don't be paying too much attention when you do it. But if it's not by accident, then it is wrong most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah.
Well, here we go. This is answering my question. To murder a fly is not too bad.
Oh.
Because they spread disease.
What, we don't? I don't see any flies going around giving me COVID these past 2 years. I think that was a human.
Flies aren't refusing to wear masks or get vaccinations, are they?
No.
No, according to young Howard, it's okay to murder flies because they spread disease.
Now, I murdered a lot of flies when I was younger. One particular holiday I went on, let's say Spain. I was in Spain and there was fuckloads of flies just gathering on the windows, but there were net curtains. And I just kind of smacked the net curtain loads and just murdered all these flies. And I remember it because I feel really bad about it. And I don't think it is okay to kill flies. And I don't kill flies now.
No, fair enough. Nor do I. But yeah, maybe what you were doing back then, maybe you were already feeling a bit bad about it. You were worried that you were going to hell, so you were trying to talk God out of it. You're like, no, they spread disease. I was doing a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, please don't send me to hell for
Maybe
murdering all
I
those
wrote
flies.
this the after the holiday. And I was like,
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, it's okay to kill loads and loads of flies with a net curtain, God.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, and it's
isn't
all right to accidentally smother your sister to death, right? I mean, it was an accident, honest. I tell you what, flies are useful because, of course, they eat shit, right? And that is a good way of getting rid of a lot of shit that would otherwise just be sitting around. I watched one of the most disgusting things, one of the most simultaneously disgusting but highly useful things I have ever seen. Right?
Oh, yes.
At the last house I lived in, we had a lot of foxes in the garden, and foxes like to mark their territory by going for a shit around the edge of it. Right? And these foxes decided that the steps up to our back door was their territory.
Yeah.
And so there was a fox, or maybe more than one fox, who was repeatedly just shitting on the like metal gantry that came out from our back door that led into the back garden. And it would come up and have a shit, and then many mornings there would be a fox shit, and we'd clean it up and remove it.
Yeah, that was your mistake, wasn't it? It wouldn't come and do a fresh one if you left that one there. It's like, stop moving my things. Stop moving my things.
Stop throwing my stuff away.
Yeah.
One time the foxes brought a shoe into our garden.
Yeah.
And then had a shit in it and left.
Brilliant.
But anyway, they shit on the and then one time these foxes got diarrhea. So that was worse, because at least with normal fox shit you can just kind of scoop it up, put it in a bag, take it out, put it in the bin, whatever. But when it's diarrhea, that's unpleasant. But while I was kind of in the morning, while I was procrastinating, going, I'll do it, I'm having coffee, I'll do it a bit later, a load of green bottle flies came along and started eating it, right? Like loads of them.
Yeah.
And like I was like, okay, I'll go away, come back. About an hour or two later, I noticed that they're really making inroads on this. Like there's less there. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave that and see how they do during the rest of the day. Within about 4 hours, they had got rid of the whole thing.
Wow.
They
were
had
hungry.
cleaned up the fox diarrhea for me. It was utterly horrible to watch.
And then I invited them in to walk all over me as a reward.
Yeah. This is why I remember to being told as a kid, like, if a fly lands on your food, get rid of that food, because where their feet have been is pretty disgusting. And I've always remembered that, and I've followed it because someone told me when I was a kid that they land in and eat shit.
Yeah.
And now I have proof because I saw them do it. It was horrifying. But it meant I didn't have to clean up fox diarrhea. And that happened several times because this fox had diarrhea for about a week, and every day the flies would come and get rid of it for me. It was really helpful and disgusting, and that's why we shouldn't kill flies.
But I'm sold.
All right. I think that bees and wasps should never be killed.
Wow.
And wasps, not just bees. You're being extra progressive here. As without them, many the flowers we have today would not exist. Okay, brace yourself for the next line. Fish need to be killed. Fucking fish. I'm sick of it. Like flies can go, disease-spreading scumbags. Wasps are okay, but let's get on with murdering those fish.
They need to be killed. I'll tell you what, that's so annoying. They keep coming round my house, those fish. Messing the place
Well, let's
up.
find out why. Let's find out why young Howard says, fish need to be killed. As if they were left for not a very long time, all the rivers and seas would be full.
That's true. Yeah.
And this could cause many problems.
Yeah, we are. They need to be culled, is what I'm saying.
Oh, there's no room for the water. The river's overflowing because it is full to the brim of trout.
Yeah.
Howard, no, it's full of rubbish. No, it's trout. Too many trouts.
If you stop fishing for one day, they'll start coming out your taps. That's what I'm saying.
Wonderful understanding, and again, as with pretty much every piece of writing you've ever done in every subject, no corrections.
That's because she probably told me. Because she probably told me that. I was like, yeah, that's right. If you don't kill fish, they come out your taps. That's what I've taught my students today, and I stand by it. I believe in God.
All right, number 1, I am the Lord your God. Number 2, don't have any more gods before me. Number 3, don't blaspheme. Number 4, keep the Sabbath holy. Number 5, kill all the fish or they'll come out your taps. Number 6, don't kill. Brackets except for number 5, fish.
Because they need
Number
to
7,
be killed.
murder all the flies.
Yeah.
They spread disease. Number 8, don't kill the bees. It does feel a bit like that, right? Like maybe the flies is your thing, but also maybe these are all things she said. Maybe like she was like pretending to have a kind of a discussion in class, you know, doing that thing where she's like modelling the ideas. You know, well, you might say that flies, for example, should be killed because they spread disease, but it'd be bad to kill bees and wasps because they pollinate flowers, and you know.
Yeah.
But but obviously, none of us are going to disagree that fish. fish need to be murdered.
Yeah.
Fish need to be murdered as much as possible. Because, when I go home and I want a glass of water,
Yeah.
I don't want a fucking trout in it, okay? Get that trout out of my glass of water.
Yeah, I don't want to be turning on my shower and just stickleback start coming out of those little holes. I mean, either she said it or it just coincided with me hearing about this, because it's not like as a child I decided that. That's not something I don't think it's the thing I would make up.
It feels a bit out of nowhere, doesn't it? Where you go, right, what things should be murdered? Fish, because the rivers would be full. Yeah. Because, what about, get rid of flies because the air will be full. Like, or birds. Got to kill all the birds or there'll be nowhere for aeroplanes to go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I suppose there's more air than there is water, right? Is that true? I mean, yeah, I'm going to stand by that statement. And so, there's always plenty of room for more birds, but, there's only a finite amount of sea that you can keep your fish in before they start.
All those rivers I've been in, they were quite shallow.
Yeah. But, the air keeps going up and never stops, but,
Yeah, all those space birds.
Yeah, the space birds. Yeah. I think I probably heard about fish needing to be I heard about them needing to be the population to be kind of cold or something. I misunderstood it to mean that they'll just grow exponentially and come out your taps if we don't murder them. And I just thought
you probably read about a fucking salmon farm or something that had too many salmon and they had to cull it because their containers were too full.
Yeah.
And you went, oh, that shit, rivers will get full of salmon and then we won't have anywhere to go paddling. All right, the last paragraph.
Is that it? Am I getting fucking hell? So I really went in depth into whether killing's right or not. It was fish,
murder them, bees. Keep them. Wasps, they're good. Probably flies. Well, I better say murder them. So I did that mass murder that time.
Can't think of any other more animals. The end.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat down to every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World.
If you did.
Eagle-eared listeners may have spotted the fact
Eagles
that...
don't have ears, Rufus. I don't know if you've ever seen one. They got beaks and eyes, but they haven't got ears. They're those flapping things that come outside of an eagle. That's not its ears. That's called wings.
Okay, no. I'm going to surprise for you. I knew that, right? I knew that about eagles.
Oh, did you?
But I didn't say eared eagles, did I? I said eagle-eared, which means listeners who've got eagles stuck to the sides of their heads, right? And that is definitely a thing. I've seen pictures of them.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, listeners with eagles glued to the sides of their heads,
yes,
right?
may
have noticed that last week we just didn't have an episode. Didn't even tell you why. Just didn't do it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's because last week we decided that we were going to slightly change the release schedule of this show and tell you after we changed it instead of before, because that's the kind of unpredictable guys we are. So essentially, this show is now kind of fortnightly. But
Apart
frequently weekly.
Isn't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of at least fortnightly, right?
Least
and if you don't
fortnightly, yeah.
and that means every 2 weeks, just in case you're not up to date on British words.
Yeah.
So we're basically a fortnightly show, except anytime we do a series, in which case it's weekly. So, for example, coming up soon, there's going to be a multi-part Doctor Who story, and that will be released weekly. If we do a two-parter, those will be weekly. If we do a review like Superman 3 that takes up 4 episodes, right, those will be released weekly. But then, between those, or when we do these one-off episodes like this one, those will be fortnightly.
That's right. Yes.
It's easy to understand, isn't it? There's not anything confusing about that. It's
No,
absolutely
not at all.
fine. Some people, though, might be really, really upset by this. They might be like, but if I don't get to listen to something by Rufus and Howard once a week, then my head is going to explode because of that weird bomb that a villain put in it, that the villain from Speed 2 put in it. And like instead of when I drop below 50 miles an hour in my boat or whatever the plot
that's the plot.
It's if I don't hear Rufus and Howard's voice for a full week doing something brand new, then my brain will explode. But don't worry, because we've got you covered. Because we do release something weekly in our secret gang on Patreon, right?
That's right.
So you sign up for Patreon and you could potentially, not like on top of this show, as well as this fortnightly but sometimes weekly show, you could also get weekly stuff, including the Secret Gang podcast, Gret Binchleaf chapters, live streams of us recording stuff or just chatting about stuff.
It all makes sense.
So go to patreon.com/manbycow and not only get all that future stuff, but immediately get your hands on our enormous back catalogue as well.
Yeah, so in fact, if you join now at the right amount of money, we could be 1,000 times a week. Yeah, because there's so much back catalogue.
There is so much; it's ridiculous. All right, let's go and record something for the Secret Gang, shall we? Yes. So we've got a lot of stuff. We've got to keep them entertained.
Yes, and please.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye-bye, Milk.
Bye-bye, man.
He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer. Yeah.